All right. So we got to address this. Beware of how you present yourself online and the narrative that you are sharing. And TYT, and here's the thing, I had to double check this with the Discord community, just how authentic this was. And apparently it's very true. And I don't know if there are dark times ahead for TYT. To be clear here, folks, remember, TYT for a long time was the capital of independent progressive media until a lot of our hearts got broken in 2016 and their war against Jimmy Dore and so much other hypocrisy and carrying water for the Democrats. But I don't know if the fight is over or anything else here. But in a segment on TYT, Cenk was suggesting that Kamala Harris will have a cakewalk as running for governor in California, which caused Anna Banana Kasparian to snap and go wild. It's something that I have to wonder is the curtain finally coming down on TYT? Is the curtain coming down on TYT? Type 1 for no, they're too strong. A type 2, oh, it's coming, baby. It's coming. No pun intended. But yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull up this video here because there's a lot that I've been noticing. Everybody in independent media has been noticing it too. TYT's twisty twists and flip flop, trying to, I guess, repair their damage or at least try and control a new narrative because things have changed drastically since November 5th.
I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the
It's like, no! Put that down! Put that drink down! No more booger sugar! Get away from it! It's bad news bears! And it is. I don't think any of that was fake. I think all of that was real. I think that was an organic reaction because even Cenk is like caught off guard. Because remember, TYT has carried water for the Democrats. TYT dismissed any concerns about what was happening during the 2016 election cycle, especially during the Democratic primary, 2020 primary, with the forced to vote. Remember how they were playing a very pivotal role in dismissing the forced to vote movement, the March for Medicare for All movement. I mean, come on here, folks. And then, of course, all the Trump derangement syndrome here, too. But hold on. In Fat Tony's defense, I see what he's saying about the people of California. Again, if there are going to be any people left in California voting for a Democrat, because the system is very inherently corrupt. All blue Democrat machine, very similar to the Democrat machine here in Illinois. But I'll make an argument here that the Illinois Democratic machine is starting to have some problems with its infrastructure. But hold on, let's rewind that.
Okay.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so
oh my God. I'm gonna move, Cenk. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna move.
I'm not saying
quitting your job and moving. I can understand. California has, I think the brighter days of the golden California dream are gone. And that's very depressing when you really think about it. You know, even as a kid in the 90s, I remember, yeah, California is where you want to make it. Now California is where you want to get out.
I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you what's like if the Democratic Party said, we anoint Kamala Harris, a percentage of Democrats in California would go, yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty oath. It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent leading it.
Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, like anyway, so like people are egging her on. Okay, apparently she's like in a wait and see mode. How about you wait and see like your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California. Yeah. Do not.
I think Kamala Harris will probably.
Now, that is very interesting that we're seeing that happen. Now, hold on here, folks, because you would never see this before on TYT. You would never see this kind of reaction. You would never see them act this way and be absolutely dismissive. towards the Democrats. The Democrats, as we all know, especially with the infamous Katzenberg, or the Democrats get a lot of donations from like a lot of huge corporate overlords, a lot of people's money influence. And as we all know, TYT got a very hefty $20 million in Katzenberg cash to their network. And we've all had to sit through, or in some form or another, hear about them promoting the Democrats. But I think that ship has sailed as well. Is this the end for what is TYT's main source, and that is always promoting Democrats? I mean, yes, they have been critical, but it's not to the point to where it's like really calling out the hypocrisy of our system. We don't have election integrity. I mean, money in politics is the end all be all rule. But that was the most interesting clapback. I would never have imagined that a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We would maybe see some sort of fake false reaction and then, hey, once again, carrying water for the Democrats. But I want to pull up something else here, too. Something else that caught my attention because it has to deal with how Anna Kasparian is talking about California potentially going red, which only probably happened a few times, but not in my recent lifetime.
Well, I do think it's a sign of a shift. And if the situation on the ground doesn't improve, I do think that there's a chance that California could potentially even become a swing state. I know that sounds crazy. 10 blue counties to red counties in California alone. And to me, that definitely stems from just the disorder, the sense that people are unsafe, and I understand that the perspective or the perception of being unsafe is different from what the statistics might actually bear out. But the statistics aren't great. Okay, let's keep it real. And anyone who decides to point to the 90s to make a point about how crime isn't as bad as the 90s, like literally one of the worst periods in terms of crime spikes, you're not making a good argument, okay? We still have not seen crime go down to pre-2019 levels in places like Los Angeles and San Francisco. And sure, you can make the argument that some violent crimes have decreased.
I like how Tiberius Monks writes here, TYT after 2016 election, you will never get my money again. Let's be clear here. After 2016, there was also another situation that still grinds my gears, to steal that line from Peter Griffin. $2 million was raised by TYT, by the audience. No donor. It was the people, regular viewers, diehard viewers. $2 million for a 4-man team of investigative journalists. And this had to deal with the highlights of Jordan Sheridan covering the Flint, Michigan water crisis. And in that, there was this attempt to have 4 people, Jordan Sheridan, Michael Tracy, Sean King, and Nomiki Kuntz, to be the 4 people that was going to be part of this investigative team. Here's a hint. Nothing ever came of it. Whatever happened to it? I mean, a lot of people talked about it. So many people did. Whatever happened to it, folks? Hey, listen, no such thing as a wrong answer. Whatever happened to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? Because I remember that's how Cenk was promoting it on TYT. And now they're talking about breaking a shift away from Democrats after 4 years from 2016, 4 years of constantly dismissing or trying to put down anyone that was being critical of the Democrats or AOC or anything of that nature. Now we're seeing a shift. And I could say on the one hand, this is them trying to, I guess, read the room and realize that it's not the political environment of 8 years ago. A lot has changed since then, and people are disappointed in our quote-unquote progressive champions. People are disappointed in the hypocrisy of the Democrats, and people are disappointed in the absolute failure of what happened in 2024. Now, I'm not. November 5th was funny to me. I remember covering election night, and I feel vindicated knowing that myself and the crew here at Hard Lens Media and all of the people who joined us for our live stream coverage on November 5th were proven to be factually correct about just how much of a slacking the Democrats were going to take.
But it's not just about violent crime. If you're a working class person living in the most expensive state in the country because of taxes and because of housing,
Having your $2,000 catalytic converter stolen is devastating. You know, every time I renew my car insurance, 2 years in a row, no tickets, no car accidents, but my car insurance keeps doubling. And it's because of street takeovers. It's because of catalytic converter thefts. It's because of vehicle thefts. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So we're all paying a price. We're all subsidizing the criminality in our state, and it's unfair. And a lot of people living here have woken up to that, and they want changes.
They want changes, but the infrastructure is very interesting. And I would prefer, and especially as I'm continuing to covering this, going into next year, to really observe just how the Democrats are going to be reacting to this new shift. Because what they once had in regards to a massive coalition since 2016 has continued to fracture and fall apart. And I've mentioned on the show, especially for Chicago or Illinois related stories, about the Democrat machine falling apart. Folks, on November 5th, certain districts here in the city of Chicago went red. That's never happened in a long time. All right. When I say the Democrat machine here, no, it's not a communist or socialist machine. No, dispel that notion. It's a neoliberal corporatist machine. But when things don't go blue in Chicago, that needs to be a huge awakening. It's a big flag that needs to be flown high up in the sky, because that never happens. The machine, the Democratic Party itself, is in a little bit of a crossroad, and they are incapable of adapting to a voting populace that is getting tired of Democrat hypocrisy. And yes, there's a voting populace getting tired of Republican hypocrisy. But also, this says a lot about the independent media sphere as well. You see, you create your audience, and when you create your audience, TYT should have learned this lesson. When you have an audience there before you, when you create a show, create an audience, when you have people that are watching your show, you have to be consistent. Now, Hardlands Media, we've been consistent. We've been talking about supporting third parties and independents, building movement and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C., and citizen ballot initiatives. And, you know, I've had a wide range of guests on my show. But never once am I going to sit here and say, we got to vote for this political party because the other party, they're bad. I'm always open to hearing different perspectives and points of view. Now, TYT did have a moment, this rare moment, to where they could have been a pioneer. But it's always about the dollars, especially when they were riding the Bernie wave. I think we all remember the Bernie wave, the electricity after 2016, and then following the orders, drinking the Vote Blue no matter who Kool-Aid. And anyone that was critical of it was quickly dismissed, laughed out, bullied, harassed. I mean, Jimmy Dore went through the brunt of it. All of you watching this as well. I mean, this was a tough thing for all of us to deal with. But when you see a video like this, and you once again see the rage, I mean, this is awesome. To me, this looks very organic right here. You know, and I understand what Cenk is saying. You know, that how people in California would vote for Kamala, but people of California, I'm being serious here. Are you going to stand in line and follow the orders and vote for Kamala after she ran such an abysmal campaign? I mean, almost $2.5 billion into her campaign now. Originally, people were saying it was $1 billion, $2.5 billion, all gone. You got Democratic donors wondering what the hell happened to the money. Where's the money? I'm looking up, I'm looking down, I'm looking sideways, I'm looking at your pockets. Where's the money?
I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so,
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm quit my job. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to move.
I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you what's like if the Democratic Party said, we anoint Kamala Harris, a giant percentage of Democrats in California would go, yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty oath. It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent Democrat leading it.
Leading it. Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, like anyway, so like people are egging her on. Okay, apparently she's like in a wait and see mode. How about you wait and see like your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California. Do not.
Unfortunately, according to Steve Wolfbrand, Cenk is probably right. As someone who lives in a diehard Democrat city, I have to agree with that assessment here, Steve Wolfbrand, because you got people that are just loyal to the political party, and party loyalty gets you nothing in return. It makes you a good sheep. But this should serve as a lesson to anyone in independent media. You can enjoy the highs, you can enjoy reaching to the sun, but the more power you accumulate, you have to remember where you came from. Hardlands Media, we started off with nothing. And even TYT, they started off with nothing back in the day. But when you go on the warpath and then carry water for a political party, and then everything blows up, are you not surprised people are going to look at you with a raised eyebrow, wondering, okay, you're changing how you talked, because you wouldn't have said this a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. You would not have done this. This is why we need independent media, but also this is why we have to break away from trusting anything associated with the two-party political system, because trust in the two-party political system is going to get you nowhere. People are burnt out. Our infrastructure is falling apart. The politicians are corrupt. They're doing insider trading. And that whole attempt by Justice Democrats, brand new Congress, Our Revolution, DSA, led to nowhere. Kamala running for governor. It's a bad move. And look, people, California, I think you suffered enough. All right? You went through enough. Do you really want Kamala as your governor? People, California, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do because here in Chicago, we got our own problems, but just my 2 cents, you could do so much better. And I'll leave this question to you, my audience. Your thoughts on TYT? You think they learned their lesson, or is this just a way for them to change their colors and still remain relevant in this ever-changing independent media landscape? Type your thoughts in the comment section below. No such thing as a wrong answer.
Calling every foe synthetic leftist and progressive lover. Summoning the simps of all the squad adjacent opportunist two-faced cop suckers. Paging every democratic yes man in possession of a smoother brain than those who hide behind Biden's stutter. Welcome to the super edgy independent news you can trust when we say we don't sell our standards out like all the others. Trust us when we tell you that we're looking out for working class America, holding all the powerful accountable. Trust us when we tell you that a host of vital truths are being covered, when honestly the truth is being smothered by a couple disingenuous hacks sent to act in bad faith by Big Brother, who start smearing every journalist who bears the credibility they covet from their gilded fucking neoliberal centerpiece. Air out all their jealousy and spite like it might yield them some validity, or paint a coat of pity over all of their acidity. But they've been busy cozied up to every war pig living between here and the infinity. Albright, Biden, Obama, God, that's gotta take the fucking trophy for unholiest of trinities. So I hope you didn't come to witness anything resembling integrity. That's been long abandoned. Now we see integrity as often as Atlantis. Now they only toe the line and read what they've been handed. Safe to say if Cenk sunk any lower, he'd be deeper than the Marianas. TYT will tell you how opinions aren't the facts unless they're Cenk Serranas. Since they chose to make a living out of licking boots and shilling, you can bet they make a killing. TYT is proud to say they traded all their spines away to empty out the till and tell themselves it's decent work and it's an honest tilling. Well, me, I see they found a way to rape the willing. Me, I read between the lines, and in the script I see the signs that those who fund their message down to every filthy dime would gladly bleed a human sea if it prevents a drop of oil spilling. And yet somehow they portray themselves the heart of the progressive movement. The loudest voices calling for some unity with those who built careers around destroying unions. Which might be true, since unity is something truly useless and symbolic, like a stale communion. Tasteless as the times they tried to fight back, smile smearing Julian. And I hope Cenk and Anna listen up and listen well. You will never be a fraction of the journalist Assange has been, even from his cell. All the filth you spread around, you spread it on yourself. That's my time. Fuck you twice. See you both in hell.